It is Monday, Memorial Day, and it's finally time for a total garden overview. Right, Susie? Time for garden overview. Let's see if I can do this quickly enough to where I don't have to edit the smush out of it or edit it at all. All right, here is the first corn I planted. This corn has been planted 3 weeks. Yeah, May 3rd I planted the corn. Okay, as you can see, this here is, it's maybe about 10 inches tall now, so it's looking really good. And I've got 100% germination on it. I mean, it's 50-foot row, and I've got 50 stalks of corn times 2. And then 2 weeks later, let's see, this has been planted, well, it's more than a week. This has been planted about 10 days or so, and you can see it's already up in a couple of inches tall there. So this new row of corn is doing fantabulous too. And by the way, I plant the corn, this right here is 2 feet apart, and you don't walk down between those rows or anything, of course. And then this here is 3 foot apart, and then you do walk between these rows here, and of course this is 2 foot apart again. And I'll be putting a third double row of corn right through there. So I will wind up with about 6 rows of corn. Not about, exactly 6 rows of corn. It's going to be a while. It's really kind of wet. It's too wet to rototiller in the garden here for a couple of days, and it looks like a rainy week ahead. Also, something new for me this year. I've planted cantaloupe in the past and had mixed results. I had good results. One year I had good results on cantaloupe, and I forgot which breed I planted, so I'm experimenting a little bit. Let me turn this around here where I can see what I'm showing, make sure I'm showing it. And this here is Sierra Gold cantaloupe. So yeah, it's been planted maybe a week. And as you can see, it's just got just the bare seedlings coming up on this Sierra Gold cantaloupe. And then this next one over here is a Hale's Best Jumbo cantaloupe. Looks pretty much similar right at the moment to the Sierra Gold, just little seedlings. And I never have planted watermelon. Watermelon usually doesn't do too good here, but well, so they say. I never have really tried any. Sugar Baby watermelon, and I think my very first, let's see here, what there's part of Susie. Let's see if I can see this here. My very first little seedling has come up today, so we'll see if that turns into it says small early variety, so they won't get too big, but they'll mature pretty rapidly. Yeah, we hear you, snoozers. Okay, moving on here. This is, I haven't thinned them down yet, but eventually I'll thin them down to maybe about 15, 16 plants or so. This is the cucumber plants right here. As you can see, they're just starting to get their first true leaves right there. You can see them in the center there. But right now they're fairly thick, but I will be thinning them down. One thing I was a little disappointed on this watermelon, they only gave me like about 10 seeds. I'm used to having a few more seeds than that to play with. Okay, here is some squash plants. I always have had great luck with squash, and as you can see, it's just now starting to get its first true leaves. I will thin this hill here down to 2 plants. It's kind of a small hill. And I got a larger hill of it here, which I will be winding up with three plants of squash in that. I put, here is some early girl tomatoes. This is far behind the other tomatoes. You can see it's pretty little there, and it's just in a cage. This is, in case anybody's wondering, this is concrete reinforcement wire cage, and most any hardware store will have this laying around outside somewhere or another. And well, any big hardware store like that sells lumber and stuff, and it immediately rusts. It'll probably be rusty when you buy it, but don't let that bother you, because even after it rusts, they'll last like 10 years before they rust through, even though they're rusty to start with. So that's a celebrity. Now that's an early girl tomato, except on my case it's going to be fairly late because it was very, very little when I planted it. And there's another early girl tomato right there. It's about the same size. Okay, here is my peppers, which my peppers and tomatoes, about 10 days ago, they were really kind of much more yellow than what I wanted because of the because it's been raining, and even on the days it hadn't been raining, we hadn't had much sun here. It looks pretty good today, but we got another rainy week ahead. But I went ahead and put some Miracle Grow on them about 10 days ago, and I think it's greened them up quite a bit. I think they look quite a bit better now since I put the Miracle Grow on them. But I won't go into the breeds of them here. Maybe, I don't know. Well, super chili. Yes, I did. So yeah, these are getting on up there pretty good size. Yeah, I know I didn't. Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I didn't mean to do that either. Yeah, I know I didn't show myself planting a lot of this stuff, but I just didn't have time, and that's probably kind of boring anyway. But yeah, super chilies, 4 of them there. Yeah, I forget what that is. And this is the Golden Summer, a yellow bell type of pepper, but they're still not, you know, like a rich green, but I tell you what, they look a lot better than what they did. Here for a while on my tomatoes and peppers, I'm going to put Miracle Grow on them about once every 2 weeks as directed. And this is the yummy, this is 2 that I bought later on. So if you saw my previous videos with the little packets of peppers, I did not grow these from those little packets. These were bigger to start with. This is one I've never tried before. Yummy petite sweet bell pepper. So apparently it makes you know, small bells. And this one over here, this other larger one, is a sweet bell pepper, just orange bell, I guess. Yeah. Okay, moving on. And see this one here, this is hot banana, not sweet banana. It's already got a few little bitty peppers on it. Well, one anyway, and a couple of buds. So yeah, so they're looking good. As you can see, now a while back, see the yellow on this one, maybe it'll show up, maybe it won't, but all of them look even more yellow than that here about 10 days ago. But things are shaping up. And then there's these 3 here. My little thing already disappeared. So it's some sort of chili type of pepper, whatever. Okay, now the tomatoes, just like the peppers, they were much yellower about 10 days ago before I Miracle Growed them. But as you can see, they're looking really nice and green these days. I'm going to have to do something, you know, eventually I'm going to get them kind of curved back onto this fence, but for now they're just sort of going where they want to. I need to, and I will be, maybe at first I won't pick out these little suckers, some people call them. I don't know what other people call them. I call them suckers. You know, right where the branches fork right there. I'm not showing a good job showing it very well here, but anyway, eventually I'll be snipping them out. But here's, I can show one here better, right? Yeah, right. Where are you? Come on, right there. Wow, it's hard to do this. But anyway, man, here's one that didn't do too good. But even though I took a lot of great pains on these on the fence, and they do look pretty healthy overall, but they still do not. Well, let me show the upper ones here. They are looking pretty good as well. So as you can see, they're like, I don't know, like 10 inches tall or so. And this one here actually has a little bitty tomato on it. I'm not sure which kind it is. I'd have to look at my old video to know. But I took really great pains with the soil here, putting down lime, and this is where the peelings went last year and all that good stuff. Then very few pains with these, and these look just much better. I just stuck these up here because I had extra ones, and they're probably about a foot tall, and they're looking really good. They did not hardly turn yellow at all like everything else seemed to want to, but anyway, they're looking very good. There's me a critter of some kind. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. I don't know exactly what that is, but he's probably a muncher of some kind. We'll leave him alone for now. I never have much problems with stuff eating my tomatoes. I never do put anything on them and never really pick anything off of them because nothing really much eats them. Now if I run down here to my other little garden down here where I planted the okra last year, I might get by without editing this video at all. I might just be able to post it up just exactly like it is, because I don't think I've sounded too stupid. I don't think I've said anything that's so dumb that I have to edit it out. So here we go. This is where I grew the okra last year, and I haven't not planted the okra yet, but I had so much okra, such a bountiful supply of okra last year, that I will be planting part of this same row. This is the exact same place I planted the okra, and I've moved my beans down here. The beans were a bust last year, so I have moved the beans. That's a 30-foot section of beans. I already got my poles up, I already got my mesh up, and down here the rabbits were eating on my beans, so I had to put some of this chicken wire here to protect my beans. Now when the beans start running, which probably won't be too long, the beans will start running, because heck, some of them are like 5 inches tall or so. When they start running, I don't want it to intertwine in this chicken wire, of course. I want it to run up this other mesh binding. So yeah, I'll have to remove that and hope that the rabbits will not eat the plants after they get so big. But I'm certainly hoping I have better beans than last year, because I put in a lot of work on the beans last year and got like 2 messes of beans, and that's just not right. I should have got a dozen messes of beans at minimum, but I didn't. But we shall see how this goes. And yeah, as you can see, the birds perch right up there and then mess upon my beans. So I guess that's a mess of beans, I don't know. But anyhow, these 2 tomatoes, and I got 2 more tomatoes down here. I guess these would be kind of coming in later. I hope they come in a little later than the other ones, actually. These are 2 celebrity tomatoes, and they're nice and healthy looking, and I miracle growed them as well. I didn't put any fertilizer at all here, just miracle growed them about 10 days ago, and they're looking good and healthy. I usually don't mind if my stuff grows a little slow, as long as it's healthy looking plants. That's the main thing. And of course, on out through there, which will be, see, this is a 30-foot section here, and then we're talking like 6 foot here, and so that's 36, and this row's close to 100 foot long, so it's 100 minus 36, I don't know. Here's where I'm sort of going to say something stupid, so I'll just let y'all do the math. so I won't say anything stupid. Around 60 or so feet of okra, I guess, but a little less than 60, a little more than 60. Okay, quit saying stupid stuff so you won't have to edit. Okay, so there you go. One other thing I'll be doing this year in the garden will be on my corn when it gets up about knee-high, about where I would be side dressing it with a little bit of fertilizer, which I really try to get by these days with just the least amount of fertilizer as possible. And but on the corn really is a heavy feeder, and it needs a little bit of fertilizer when you plant it, and when it gets knee-high it needs a little bit of more fertilizer. So anyhow, I'm going to be planting some beans, some white half-runner beans, in with the corn after it gets knee-high, at the same time that I side dress it with fertilizer. When it's knee-high, I'll be putting some about three corn beans I'll be punching in the ground there next to each stalk of corn, and it'll just come up and run up the corn stalk. You don't get a lot of beans like that, but you know, it's a good way to grow them, because that's the beans the roots fix nitrogen, so that actually gives your corn plants a little bit of extra nitrogen. And after you get quite a few, after the runners go up quite a bit, it actually acts as a guy wires just a little bit and helps hold your corn up in a windstorm, because windstorms can just lay a field of corn just sideways. Usually they'll straighten back up mostly after the wind over a period of days, but the beans do help to stabilize it a little bit, the bean runners. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, yeah, no, it's not it. I got one other thing. Don't know if you'll remember, I think it was my first video where I showed myself going and getting some mulch from the state that they had on the side of the road, which was right through this little section here. As it turned out, the mulch I went and got was so decomposed, it was really more like compost than it was mulch, and it had quite a few weed seeds in it, mostly grass seeds. So what I wound up with, I had a bunch of compost, near half mulch, half compost, half garden soil, because it had dirt in it, all spread out through here, and it turned out to be a weed factory more than it did mulch. So I raked it all up into a big pile, and there's my big pile of mulch slash compost slash dirt, and I'll be using it later on as compost. I'll be mixing it in with peelings and stuff and putting it, you know, down while wind up taking. This will be wound up all at one time, or a bucket at a time being moved down there. Maybe when I get peelings from the house, I'll take the peelings down there and then get a bucket of this, take it down there and mix it up. I didn't show my compost pile down there, I forgot. But I'm not going to run down there and do it. That'll be another video, I guess. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything. And I'm going to shut my mouth here so this won't be so god-awful long. And bye everybody, and I'll try to do another update in a couple weeks. Maybe I'll have some bigger plants to show you then, at least some bigger watermelon. That was kind of pathetic, but that just came up. All right, bye everybody.